seaplane rating, or?
Yeah, once you get the floats on, there's a couple guys that have them that you could go get some instruction. Right back behind us there at one of the airports along the river, they used to provide instruction. So we're definitely about the same height as the clouds here, but these clouds are a little bit higher. Like if we went that way, we'd end up in the clouds.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can bring it down to about 2,800 feet slowly, and that'll make sure we'll stay below.
Okay. Yeah, I think my altitude was drifting up a little bit.
Yeah, we start burning a little fuel, and the airplane definitely likes the cool weather. It just wants to climb all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely gorgeous out with all the leaves changing.
Yeah, the weather was bright and sunny for Lauren and Brooke, and a friend of mine came in from St. Louis, just happened to be in town. I took him flying on Sunday of that same weekend. So in one weekend I did four flights.
Okay.
Just kind of tooling around like we're doing now.
Was anybody planning to go back or actually get their license?
Yeah, Brooke is very serious about it. Tom Balzano is pretty serious about it. He's just trying to finish up his master's degree that he's working on right now. So it's sort of a time thing right now. Lauren was like wasn't sure. Said maybe, not right now, but maybe a little bit later. She hadn't really thought about it too much, but now she's starting to think about it. And that's sort of the whole point of giving these rides is like,
yeah,
just to get the experience. So then you're like, okay, now I've experienced it. Is it something that I think I would want to go do? And provide some mentorship a little bit along the way if they need it, or advice or whatever. We're pretty much headed right for the Madison VOR. There's a little clearing right below those white buildings that are kind of this way.
Okay.
You barely see the little white cone.
Yep.
So you always got to keep your eyes open when you're near a VOR, because they're like a light and moths, you know,
yeah,
the airplanes.
Yeah. They're all navigating toward it.
They could be, although with GPS nowadays, a lot less than before. Most people just punch in direct or whatever, or they navigate from airport to airport if they're going to just overfly it, you know.
Chester, Skyline on the ground, crossing runway south end.
You never know, you always got to keep an eye out. So visibility is pretty good. I mean, that's 20 or 30 miles of visibility underneath the clouds. And actually the clouds can be a little bit of a help if somebody's got strobe lights on, things like that. With a slightly darkened sky over there, you have a better chance of actually seeing them.
Yeah.
And on a bright sunny day, sometimes it's really hard to spot airplanes.
Does your wife have her license as well?
No, she's talked about in the future potentially go through like a pinch hitter course.
Yeah.
So that at least if something was to happen to me, she would be able to take over and land the airplane potentially. The airplane does have an autopilot and she knows how to use it. Well, I've showed her how to use it a couple times, and hopefully it sunk in. But it's pretty simple, you know, push the button, and on this side all I have to do is just hold the disconnect button down. It's an autopilot, so if the autopilot's on, I just press this button, it disconnects and I can hand fly. But if I'm hand flying, I just hold the button down for, I think it's 3 or 4 seconds continuously, and it holds this altitude and this heading by autopilot, and I can go. So if you ever get confused or whatever, you just push the button and let the airplane figure it out.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good feature if you ever get disoriented.
Yeah. Autopilots are good to keep the fatigue level down if you're flying longer distances than hand flying. Although I have to admit, when it's fairly turbulent and there's a lot of updrafts and stuff, the autopilot does a lot of hunting, trying to hold the altitude.
Oh, okay.
So you feel the airplane changing attitude a lot, trying to hold the altitude, when in reality, if you're not on an IFR flight plan and you don't have to be at a specific altitude, you can let the airplane just kind of ride up and down on the thermals and stay basically at the altitude that you want. You don't need to immediately react, you know. So I tend to hand fly it a lot in turbulence just because I think I can do a slightly smoother job than the autopilot. But on a long trip, it's nice. You can turn it on and go take a nap.
Yeah.
No, not really.
So what is this over here?
That's a big reservoir. I don't know which one or whatever, but it's a nice big lake / reservoir. It almost looks like it could have been a quarry that got filled up with water or something.
Yeah. So is that an airfield over here, or?
No, it's just a meadow where the river will flood. We are getting a little close to Tweed, New Haven Airport, their airspace, which is just down here.
Yeah.
We might want to turn us back to the north.
Actually, I think that's Sleeping Giant right there.
Oh, is that what they call it? In Meriden, or?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yep. I think pretty much at the base of it is Meriden's airport, Meriden Markham. I think is that brown spot that you can kind of see at the base of it.
Yeah.
That's Meriden's airport.
Okay.
They have the cheapest fuel. I think this is a reservoir because it's got one of those little pier things that goes out with a building, like a pump building or something, where they have the water intake a little bit further out, you know? Looks like it's a little low.
Yeah, it has been a really dry summer.
Although all the reservoirs near my house in Manchester are totally fine. They're fed from something else further up in the hills, so those might be dry, but one near my house is always pretty good.
Maybe go down just a little bit. Looks like we're getting up. Getting a little bit close.
I can see the red runway indicator lights.
Yep, I see it.
Like a PAPI or something next to their runway now.
Yeah.
Normally you wouldn't be able to see that, but it's kind of subdued light with the clouds. It's pretty nice. It's almost like a farmer out digging in his field or something, causing a big dust cloud, because I can still see that big dust cloud.
Yeah, you're right.
Very odd.
And you know, even with this cloud cover and the haziness that there is, you can still see that. So you got pretty good visibility.
Oh yeah.
Now, is this 91 here, maybe?
Yeah, this is 91 coming through the gap and then going down towards New Haven.
Okay.
And you can just barely make out Hartford in the distance there.
Yeah.
On the hill.
My wife and I, on one of our anniversaries, we came over here and there was a lady that worked at Pratt that offered balloon rides.
Oh, cool.
And so we went up. It was right around this area, kind of between the Sleeping Giant and here, and we took off from the east side,
altitude 2,900,
and just went up, a couple hundred feet, and then we were drifting to the west, and we got right around 91 there, and the wind just died. And we were just kind of slowly drifting. So we didn't go. We didn't go anywhere near where we were supposed to go, and we ended up having to land over here in the populated area.
Oh.
And we actually came down in the parking lot of a school. Somebody thought we were in trouble, so they called the police, and we had a fire and police escort all the way down to the ground.
That's one where you pull out the cell phone and you just like call them up right now. Hey, we're in a balloon. We're not having problems.
Yep.
The wind is not going where we're supposed to on it or whatever.
Right. That was kind of funny. It was a good story to tell. We actually had the firemen help us pick up the basket, the balloon.
Well, that's good. So you had some extra hands. That's cool. Yeah. When we head over towards Middletown, you can see the Aragoni Bridge with the double humps there.
Oh yeah.
We're by the river. You should be able to see the Pratt Whitney plant, which is a little further south. My old stomping grounds from the
From when?
From the 80s when I was still in college. I would come up here on my internships and work at the Building 140, I think it was, in Middletown.
Oh, okay. Now, where were you going to school?
Carnegie Mellon.
Okay.
I think that's when Frank was still there. I met Frank when he was in part of the chemistry group there in Middletown.
Yeah, when I was in Florida, when we were living in Florida, came up. I used to come up quite a bit to go to Middletown because they were installing the production inertia bonders there. So we were doing that production transition stuff. Now, when did you move up from Florida?
September of '99.
Okay, you moved up about a year before me.
I wasn't the first one to go, but I was relatively early in the group because I was getting tired of coming up. I was a year and a half prior to my moving up. I spent about 2/3 of the days of those calendar months in Connecticut already at the plant in North Haven. I was just getting tired of living out of suitcase.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I don't want to move out of Florida, but if that's what's going to happen, I just want to go now because I'm tired of bouncing back and forth. Just get it over with, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a period when we were doing an investigation for the 229 high compressor, and I was coming up every week. Did that for a couple of months. That gets old really fast.
Yeah, Tyrus Royal and I had a permanent room at the Meriden Courtyard Marriott for over a year, where it'd be 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, back and forth. So you didn't even have to bring luggage, except for when the seasons changed. Just have the same clothes, just leave them there. I had Florida clothes and Connecticut clothes, and yeah. I just leave them there and do laundry and all that stuff wherever I was. I was kind of...
Now, did you get pulled into the non-line of sight in Germany and that equipment there?
No, I was successfully sidestepped that.
Okay.
I had enough chefs in the kitchen for that one. So
I guess Litton and Hazel and who else?
And Schlichting.
Schlichting.
And then occasionally Maloney. And yeah, so a lot of people have... You know, like I said, there was a lot of chefs in the kitchen, so adding more to the fire was not going to help. Somebody had to stay home and hold the fort down.
Yeah, let's see. Where's the Middletown plant? Is
over
that
the hill. I think it's just on top of that, or on the other side of that hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually right there. See, the power plant is a little bit upstream of us. You can just make it out now. Actually, now it almost looks like smoke coming up.
Yeah, it does. It looks like there's a fire.
Yeah, maybe somebody burning brush. Hard to tell. Although usually white smoke means water's being poured on it, I thought. And dark smoke is when things are actually burning.
Oh.
Some fireman told me that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you see like black smoke pouring out, you know, that stuff is burning, you know, bad stuff usually. And then once the firemen get there, it turns to like white, so it's a lot of steam and just white smoke.
Now we should be heading back toward like Hampton, Pocono somewhere.
Yeah, that probably would be that lake right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess. Yeah, because Salmon River's off on the map, so it would be like over that way.
Yeah, I can really see that. One of these power plants is where they had that explosion, isn't it?
I thought it was on this side of the river somewhere, but yeah, like a new facility of some sort.
Yeah, they were, I guess they were doing some welding on piping that was gas piping.
Let's turn this way for just a second. We're starting to get a little close to Hartford's airspace. So we'll go down and then come back in and I'll make the call to the tower. If they change their...
Windcom, visibility 10, sky clear. Temperature 11, dew point 2, altimeter 3035. LDA or visual approach in use, line departing runway 2. VFR departure aircraft requesting flight following or Bradley Class Charlie S-Base service. Advise ground destination and altitude for beacon code assignment. Notice cabin informal noise abatement procedures in effect. Caution for birds out in the vicinity of the airport. Advise on initial contact via Vegas Oscar. Airport ATIS information Oscar 18530 observation. Windcom, visibility 10, sky clear. Temperature 11, dew point 2, altimeter 3035. LDA or visual approach in use, line departing runway 2. VFR departure.
Interesting that they call this sky clear. It must be above 12,000.